I am application design engineer. My name is Zohaib, and I'm taking care of the Middle East and Africa region. Okay, and with me is my manager from Germany. His name is Mr. Florin Bucur, and he's taking care of he's global application design manager, and he's taking care of all the projects over here in the world. Any technical support, any details more, he is responsible for everything. Okay, I hand it over to you, Mr. Florin. Hi and welcome.
Thank you, Zohaib, and thank you all for participating. Thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here with you. I will start presenting as fast as possible. I understood the time is very limited, so I will not give you a huge introduction about myself. I'm just basic stuff. My name is Florin. I'm 20-something year in the fire protection industry, and now I'm handling the application design topic in the headquarters in Munich, Germany, like Zohaib said. This presentation is about reasons to choose Bosch fire alarm systems. And I don't know if we'll have time for 25 reasons, but I will start. I will see how much far can we go. I will pitch in at a certain point also Zohaib to continue a little bit if time permits, right? Just signal me when and how it is possible, right? So how we build these reasons to work with Bosch fire alarm systems? Well, first of all, we look at our portfolio. We compare with what's on the market. We see the differences, and then we derive this in advantages, value for you, stakeholders, regarding the fire alarm systems, right? Can it be a distributor, a system integrator, a customer, end user? It doesn't matter. Every stakeholder gets benefits out of good quality, reliable fire alarm system. And what we did, looking at these benefits and this reasoning, we put in three categories. So benefits regarding reliability of the system, so mainly connected to the time response and accuracy of the fire detection, and the number of false alarms, which should be minimum to zero, right? Or future-proof benefits that allows you to keep your investment when you have an investment in the fire alarm system, and added value to your operations. And here is to provide better additional services and, of course, improve the efficiency and save the costs. So these are the three categories, and you will see them on each slide. We start with the reasons to work with Bosch, 1 to 25, even more if we have time, less if we don't have time. And you will find on each slide, you will find one of these three categories, right? And together, all these reasons, I call it for you the Bosch Giza. I hope this is correct pronunciation. But let's start with the story, right? So where better to start than our detectors, right? Because this is the workhorse of every fire alarm detection system are the detectors. And we have in our Avanar 4000 range, we have the DO detectors, we call them, from dual optical. They are detectors using two LEDs in the optical chamber, and that each LED has a different wavelength to detect optically the smoke that gets inside the smoke chamber. Together with the ISP, or the intelligent signal processing, which basically looks at patterns that are made of these readings from the sensors, you get a very, very fast and accurate detection. And these reduce false alarm from different agents like steam, even cigarette smoke, dust, and so on, make sure that the detectors will detect smoke that are related to real alarm scenarios. So this is number one. Then, if we talk about detector, moving to number two, we have a feature in all our Avanar 4000 detector, which is called e-smoke. This e-smoke feature basically measures the EM, the electromagnetic disturbance at the place of the detector where it is installed. You can carry that value, and you see if it's high, then it means you have a disturbance coming from a very strong EM field. This is coming as a standard for all our Avenal 4000 detectors. And many manufacturers out there are focusing on pollution, on the visible pollution like dust. We also give more attention to invisible pollution, which are EM fields, right? So if you have false alarms and you have no idea why, there's no apparent reason, most likely there's a very strong EM field, maybe coming from a high power equipment in the area. And with any other system, you have no idea about this. With our system, you can actually measure the intensity of the field and see if this is the cause of an alarm. Speaking about detection, of course, I hope you heard about Aviotech, which is our intelligent AI-powered camera, so artificial intelligence camera that uses neural networks, deep learning, to basically detect flames and smoke in the video that it looks at. It's a very fast method of detection, detects both flame and smoke at the source. It doesn't have to reach any sensor. You can detect it at the source. It's really, let's say, a game changer on the fire detection market. Bosch was the first one to certify with VDS such a camera, and now you can use it, benefiting years of experience in this domain. Since we're talking about cutting-edge solutions, one of the latest platforms that we launched is called NexoSpace Fire System Explorer. And this is a remote portal offering as a package remote services. And we're talking here about remote programming, remote maintenance, and remote access. Also, we have a mobile app that's bundled in this package. And with this mobile app, you can find every time on your mobile phone what's the status of one system. Please check it out. It's really interesting. It really gives you a lot of flexibility in managing your system remotely. Then on, if we're talking about the programming software, because I mentioned it a little bit earlier with the remote programming component of NexoSpace, our remote programming software is free of charge. It's not locked, so you don't need the hardware key. You just download it and start using it. I think that's a benefit that everyone should have. But, of course, if we are in the area of free tools, Safety System Designer is our free planning tool. And with this software, you can basically build your component, build your system, build your panel, add detectors, have a global check on the validity of the system, energetic calculation for loops, battery calculation for panels, everything compatibility related is checked in this software. Also, it has the nice ability to import data either from AutoCAD as a design tool or from an Excel if you want, for example, to import a list of materials and automatically designs the system for you. I think you should try it. It's a free software. It's very nice, and it gives you an overview what you can do with our system as well. Moving on, this is one of the beauties of our system, the modularity, because it's an easy expandable system, so you can start with one basic case, one controller, one loop, add things, peripherals on the loop, but you can grow it really to a huge size, up to 32 nodes or panels in a network, each panel with up to 32 loops, each loop with up to 254 devices. So quite a huge system that you can grow, and you can add it sequentially. You don't have to add it all at once. You don't want to think it from the beginning. If you want to expand later, you can always add in the case some modules. You can always add the second casing or third casing if you need, and add more modules and so on. So really easy, scalable system. And of course, we need to integrate with so many other equipments nowadays. And for that, we have a huge range of interfaces. It's called Avenar 4000 IO modules. And it can give you a lot of options for integrating with inputs, with outputs, that are dry outputs like relay or voltage outputs, depending on the scenario. All these are possible with our range of interfaces. And here I have to highlight the new interfaces, I2M1 and I4R2, which are ideally for such a big range of applications, right? So with these two interfaces, you can do so many applications. You can do damper control, you can do door control, you can do sounder control, absolutely everything that you want. And of course, not control, but also monitoring, like damper monitoring and so on. So only two interfaces that gives you a lot of applications out there that you can do. And this is also cutting-edge technology, so last generation of interfaces, a lot of technology built in there, like safety position for the outputs and so on. So a lot of functions and a lot of, let's say, new technology embedded here. But if we don't need only hardware integration, then we also have the option of software integration. And for that, we have several options. We have classic protocols like OPC, an open protocol, BACnet for industry especially. But if these are not enough, like out-of-the-box protocols, we also offer an SDK, which is like a library of for integrations with any other system. So if there is a need, you can basically write your own integration for any other protocol. Of course, you can use also converters from BACnet or OPC to other classic protocols out there. But if there is a need for a proprietary interface, that's also possible with our FSI software development kit. Moving on, these integrations, of course, require IP connections, and our controllers are built on IP communication. And for that, what a better measure than to say that each controller comes with 4 ports of Ethernet. So basically, there's an embedded Ethernet switch inside of the controllers, offering 4 ports for either panel networking. Usually 2 ports are used for that, and the other 2 for different other integrations. If we're talking management systems, voice evacuation systems, whatever it's needed, you can connect it there and use the, like I said, or out-of-the-box protocols or customized protocols for that. I was saying a little bit earlier about the capacity of the network, and since we are talking IP networks here, it's also nice to repeat that our network capacity is of 32 nodes, so you basically can add 32 controllers and servers inside one network, basically giving you quite a huge size of the systems, and we don't need a backbone network. That's also very important. All the panels, all the controllers are on the same level in this one network. Moreover, when we're talking about system operation, of course, you have the option to operate via software, but you also can operate via the panel of the controller. And for that, we offer quite a unique display, which is 7-inch colored touchscreen with everything contextual. So basically all the menus, all the labels are on the display. You don't have labels written on the panel, so that means it's very easy. If you, for a reason, want to change the language, yeah, that's also possible. Yeah, and also not only that, but this is important because the same layout of the operating panel you find on the panels, operating panels, but also on the repeater. So you don't have to learn as an operator of the system different layouts and so on. So basically it's one unified interface for all the devices. It looks the same, it feels the same, and it's really nice to use and easy. And since we're talking about operation, one of the unique features we have is this E-matrix. This E-matrix, it's like an electronic matrix, allows you to control out of the operating panel directly any control groups for outputs, sounders, and voice evacuation system. So basically, what you could do is go to one operating panel for the fire control panel and select from that which zones for the PA system, for the voice evac system you want to trigger, all just one individually or a group and so on. So basically, this is one unique feature that you'll find. There's a dedicated button on the panel. It's right here. It has an evacuation symbol. You just go there and you find a list with all the operable, let's say, zones in the building that you can trigger. So you don't need to build these forests of call points if you want to control from the fire side the voice evacuation. And also mentioned earlier, capacity-wise, by panel you can have 32 loops, where 16 is the average in the market. That means you have a bigger flexibility and scalability of the system, and the share cost of the controller is smaller to the same number of detectors compared with our competitors. So not only flexibility and scalability, I would say, but also cost efficiency. And speaking about the loop communication, because we talked a little bit about the loop capacity earlier, this is a very robust communication. That means you can use whatever type of cable you want as size, but also if it's shielded or not, you can use it. So it doesn't mean that we stick to one cable, one type of cable. You can use whatever cable you want. It's going to work, right? It's very robust. You don't have false alarm because of the cable that you are using. And in the same context, you can use either automatic or manual addressing for the peripherals on the loop. So that means you can put the detectors there and have a soft addressing from the controller, or you can adjust the dip switches on the rotary switches on the devices and set manually the address. And this gives you a lot of flexibility in commissioning, also allowing you to do T-taps on the loop, so basically branches outside the loop, right? So don't have only the loop, but also you can have branches in certain places. Next on, all our peripherals are having bidirectional short circuit isolators. So that means one defect on the loop will not put out of commission any equipment, right? You'll have a defect, of course, but everything will function because every peripheral can isolate the segment where there is a defect on the loop. Of course, that means you have a very reliable system. And speaking about ways to improve and add value, we have a second range of detectors, which is called the 520 series, what we call popularly as an invisible detector. It doesn't have a physical optical chamber. So as you can see here, this is what you see when it's mounted on the ceiling. So it's at the surface of the ceiling. All the detection is happening here in the center, like 5 millimeters to 1 centimeter below. Yeah. So it's basically, it's like a virtual optical chamber. Now this is basically has few advantages. One, it's minimum impact aesthetically. So it can fit in any design. Second, it's very easy to clean. Basically, you just wipe the surface with a cloth and that's it, right? You don't need to get it off